Oh, hang on. Can you hear me? Just a minute. Just a minute. I forgot to do that. I'm an idiot. Hey up, it's Steve from the Old Yorkshire Geek. Welcome to my midweek live news stream, or news live stream, whatever. Where we've got some news items for us to have a look at. But in the chat already, Windgrace is interested in the Forbidden Planet news. You'll be disappointed, mate. It's not really news. But anyway. And Josh Temple's here, harpoon at the ready, thank God. And we're all waving at each other. And Sci-Fi Quest is here as well, who's just done a stream playing Knights of the Old Republic and losing in a fight. And he got angry. Just like I do with Tomb Raider. Anyway, right, before we start, don't forget, like and subscribe, share the videos, drop a comment, hit the notification bell if you're subscribed already. Right, we should be live on YouTube. Yep, we should be live on Rumble. Let me refresh that. Why does it never just come on? Rumble's rubbish sometimes. Come on. There we go. We're live on Rumble. And we should be live on Twitch, I hope. Are we? Yes, we are, I think. I think we're live on Twitch. Yes, we are. Right. What's up here? Why is this going wrong? Let me hit refresh. Let me hit refresh and try that again. I think something's gone wrong with the Twitch stream. I think it's... no, it says streaming live now. Right, okay. Okay. Right, fair enough. I think it is. But I could be wrong. It says 2 minutes ago. Let me just refresh the whole bloody page. Unbelievable. Right. Is that just playing? I think it's... Yes, it stopped after like a minute. But it still says live there. But am I live? Am I live? Right. No, I think I am. Yes, we're back. Twitch, playing silly buggers. Anyway, what's that down there? So I've just noticed something. Oh, it's chat settings. Never mind. Right, whatever. Right, Twitch is working as well. And Adam Green is here. I don't normally see Adam Green over on when I'm doing my Tomb Raider games. Anyway, welcome to the show. It's going to install the mods, this Sci-Fi Quest. Aye, cheating. Bloody cheating. Right, let's get on with the news, shall we? I've got a few. It's mostly Star Wars, a bit of Star Trek, a bit of Forbidden Planet, some gaming news, and then one thrown on at the end. I may or may not read. Right, so make myself titchy tiny. I forgot what I do. Oh no, I don't do that, do I? We just get on with it, don't we now? Right, off we go. Spladosh. Right, this is from Forbes. John Archer, who later will become captain of the NX-01 Enterprise. I know, that's Jonathan. Disney announces 4K Blu-ray releases for 4 more Marvel and Star Wars original series. The Walt Disney Company has revealed today that it is going to be releasing 4K Blu-ray editions of no less than 4, count 'em, 4 more Lucasfilm and Marvel TV shows originally developed for its Disney Plus streaming platform. Does this mean they're getting ready to shut it down? No. The first seasons of Marvel's The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, of which, right, I think the first half of it is any good, and Moon Knight will be joined by Star Wars Obi-Wan Kenobi, which is hilarious. Moon Knight, I didn't mind, but it wasn't amazing. And the first season of Star Wars Andor, which is good, if a bit slow. In new collector's edition 4K Blu-ray disc editions set to drop on April 30th. Steelbooks, by the looks of it. Oh, excuse me. Sorry, not cheating, modding. Okay, whatever. Tomato. But yeah, it looks like steelbooks, don't they? But I don't get steelbooks anyway. I don't know what people rave about them for. The collector's edition moniker indicates that, like Disney's previous 4K Blu-ray releases of WandaVision Season 1, didn't even know they were out, or Mandalorian Seasons 1 and 2, didn't even know they were out, and Loki Season 1, all 4 new titles will ship in steelbook packaging designed by popular artist Attila Zarka. with the 4K high dynamic range disc transfers being accompanied by concept art cards and never before seen bonus features. To be honest, although I liked Andor, I quite like Mandalorian, and WandaVision I liked, but that's just because it's Elizabeth Olsen, and I don't like them that much to buy them when I can just watch them on Disney Plus. I'm paying for that anyway, so anyway. And who cares about never seen before bonus features these days? As you can see from I'm all for never before seen bonus features for like classic films of the past, and retrospectives and stuff. But new stuff, who gives a toss? As you can see from the photographs of all 4 releases scattered throughout this article, each edition really does look gorgeous. This article paid for by Disney, though Moon Knight and Andor are particularly handsome, I think. Let's look in more detail at each title in turn, starting with The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, the complete first season. The complete season. With a total running time of around 304 minutes, I'm pleased to say that The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, Season 1, the only season, will be presented across 200 gigabyte discs. See, you're getting a bit too in-depth now. Nobody cares. It's 2 discs. Right, okay. What else? US soundtrack will feature Dolby Atmos, blah, blah, blah. Widescreen, obviously. But, Falcon and Winter Soldier, who gives the monkeys? The first episode were good, but after that, it kind of went downhill a bit, didn't it? Particularly towards the end, but Josh Temple wants Andor in Season 1 in 4K. I also want 4 more seasons of Andor. Well, we're getting 1. Is it? Yeah, we're just getting 1 more season, aren't we? Unfortunately, because Disney are idiots. The best thing that they've produced, and they're just wrapping it up in 1 season. Hey, never mind. Never mind. So there we go, gag reel, 2 deleted scenes, blah, blah, blah. So, and I don't care, I'm not going to read it, I can't be bothered. Falcon and the Winter Soldier, Moon Knight, which were fine. I said the Moon Knight looks quite nice, packaging and all that. It wasn't bad, I didn't hate Moon Knight, it were alright. Obi-Wan Kenobi was just hilarious, just when he runs off. Darth Vader's there, just runs away. It's just funny. I mean, she did so well, Deborah Chow, with the Mandalorian episode she did. And then they give her Obi-Wan Kenobi. And she just flushed it all down the toilet, didn't she? And Andor, there we go, there's Andor. That looks fine. Oh, I forgot to look at the, that, Falcon and the Winter Soldier. There you go, looks very nice. Yeah, whatever. Hey. And there's Andor, which looks, that's it. If I were going to buy one, it'd be that. But I'm not going to, so there. So there we go. Looking forward to Season 2 of Andor. I don't know if we're going to get more seasons of the other stuff. Probably not of Obi-Wan, even though Ewan McGregor says he wants to do it. I'm not sure about Moon Knight either, to be honest. Don't know. I don't think there's been any word, has there? I don't think. And we're getting a... Captain America. He's not Captain America, is he? He's nothing like Captain America. He hasn't even taken any super soldier serum. So, like, just 1 punch from a super-powered person and he'd be dead, won't he? Well, what's his face? Anyway, never mind. So, there we go. So, they're coming out on discs. And apparently, you can get Mandalorian as well, and Loki, and WandaVision on disc, which I had no idea about. But, anyway, never mind. I thought they were just saving them all for Disney Plus, but no, you can buy them on discs. Fair enough, right? Let's move on. I don't want to dawdle tonight. Hey, what's this next one? More Star Wars. Here we go. It's from Game Rant. Who wrote this? Oh my God. Adimaladi Shodipi Dusunmu. Apologies to that person. Rumour new Star Wars show has Season 2 planned before the first is even released. I hope this is like one of those rumours. You know, like my it's not a rumour, but my Star Trek Legacy coming mid-2025. Hope it's one of those sort of rumours. One Star Wars show seems to elicit confidence in the powers over at Disney, despite the company's streaming strategy being in flux backstage. And there's Coruscant with the Star Wars with some bullet holes in. Right, Star Wars might be in for another popularity surge on Disney Plus, as a new rumour suggests that one upcoming show is already in the preliminary stages of a second season. Several months before... Why am I shaking my head? Several months before fans and critics can even see the show's premiere. I'm guessing they're talking about The Acolyte. I'm guessing. I've not read by the way, I've not read these articles. There could be anything in them. While the Star Wars franchise has always been a movie-centred experience with its main focus on the original, prequel and then sequel trilogies, the franchise has grown to include a strong presence on the small screen. The popularity of Star Wars shows ballooned with the unique aura of space western The Mandalorian, the first 2 seasons. It could do so again with The Acolyte. No, it won't. An upcoming Star Wars show set in a less explored era on the timeline. The plot is, because it's the High Republic and they want to try and get people to buy the books and comics. The plot is set 100 years before the events of the mainline Star Wars movies and will chronicle a former Padawan and their master reuniting to investigate crimes with the sinister force behind them. Rude of work to bother me during your stream. Yes, it was. Yes, it was very rude of them. Win Grace. There, tell you. While fans are cautiously eager to see what the show can do based on its massive storytelling potential, another article funded by Disney, with even Star Wars The Acolyte's inspirations coming from an unexpected source. There's a link, wherever that is. What does that say? Acolyte Solo Inspiration Wookiee Jedi. We saw it on the cover, didn't we, of one of the High Republic books that nobody's read. Executives overseeing the show's development have reportedly made a move demonstrating massive confidence. According to the trusted insights of Daniel Richtman via his Patreon, despite still being over 3 months away from the stated release date for the show's first season, plans are already underway for the Acolyte Season 2. Remember, we kept being told by certain people that this was never going to happen, Acolyte. They got money for a sizzle reel, and that's all they were getting, and now they're on about Season 2. Don't believe anything you see or read on the internet. While filming for the 8-episode first season wrapped in June of 2023, the show still hasn't seen any critical reviews or audience scores, making the early Season 2 plans a pretty strong statement on the part of the studio that the project will be a hit. I hope it bombs. I hope it bombs for them. And, they get a bloody nose just for being so cocky, essentially. And remember, in Star Wars, you don't get cocky, do you? Or penisy. Richtman also alleges that the writer's room is set, which is unsurprising, as Star Wars The Acolyte already boasted an impressive list of writers. Link. Writers from WandaVision, House of the Dragon and Watchmen. I presume they mean the series Watchmen, which were terrible. But House of the Dragon were good. And the WandaVision I enjoyed, apart from the last episode. With the synopsis given and the feedback from interviews and behind-the-scenes shots, it's good news for fans that the show's limitless potential will be shaped and crafted by an expert team. This article funded, bought and paid for by Disney, with a solid head start on the project. While fans are still in the dark about the quality and scope of the first season's plot, it'll just be rubbish. That's all you need to know. They'll be relieved if the first season does as well as executives hope it does. By executives, they mean Kathleen Kennedy. I think she's poured all of her hatred, like Sauron pouring all of his malice into the One Ring. I think she's poured all of hers into the Acolyte. Hang on, where are we? Even if it bombs, we won't know. They'll claim it was great no matter what. Yes, they will. Yes, they will. But I don't know. It's like Nielsen ratings and Samba ratings might upset the apple cart a bit. We told the whole story in season 1. Don't want more. Yes. I don't want to see it at all. I'll watch it, you know. You never know. It might surprise you. It might be amazing, but I doubt it. Anyway, this contrasts with the current state of Star Wars Ahsoka, which has the feel of a franchise leader, but remains without an official Season 2 renewal, despite Dave Filoni working on it, because Season 1 were awful. Although I like the first episode. The two tend to... Disney stuff does tend to start off quite strong, doesn't it? But then just tails off, usually. Anyway, it'll be interesting, because it were awful with Ahsoka, for the most part. It'll be interesting to see how things go with the project, as The Acolyte has been highlighted as a Sith-led story with a darker tone, a concept Star Wars fans believe could save the franchise. Another link. Pardon me, Star Wars movies fixed dark side film fan theory. That's what the link is. Indicating that the fans and executives might be thinking the same thing every once in a while. The fans, however, will have to wait until the show premieres for streaming to know if they agree with the confidence behind the scenes. I'm sure we won't. Star Wars Acolyte is reportedly set to premiere on June 5th, 2024 on Disney+. I bet it is rubbish. I'm honest, you know, I don't like to, you know, crap on something before it's even started. You know, or before I've even seen it, but I suspect this is going to be awful. I mean, it could even be hilarious. It could be that bad it's good. You know, like Rise of Palpatine. That was just funny. Anyway. Hey. It's going to be awful. It's going to be awful. Dear. It is sorry that they do that to you as well. You're talking about Wyngrace's work. Bloody work. Anyway, so there we go. Sorry, Adam Eladi Shadipe Dosunmu. Enjoy your Disney money while it lasts. Because you've sold yourself down the river. Any comments? Nah. Adimaladi is a resourceful and versatile content writer with a knack for copywriting, technical writing, SEO writing, essay writing, convincing storytelling, research and editing an array of content for a number of diverse organisations with over... With over what? Don't know. Right, let's move on. That Acolyte's going to be rubbish. It is. I just know it is. I forgot what button to press then. There we go. Right, next up. Sticking with Star Wars. From Slash Film, who's written this one? Sandy Schaefer. How Game of Thrones creators ended up swapping Star Wars for Netflix's Three-Body Problem. They got out while the going were good, I suppose. They buggered up Game of Thrones, didn't they? And then, because they thought they were going to do a Star Wars trilogy, then that went all wrong, didn't it? Because Kathleen Kennedy is a silly cow. Anyway. Reports of filmmakers signing on to direct a Star Wars movie have come to elicit fewer squeals of delight than wisecracks, guesstimating how long until they leave the project over creative differences. At this stage, Patty Jenkins, Taika Waititi, Colin Trevorrow, Kevin Feige, Game of Thrones showrunners David Benioff and D.B. Weiss, and more, say Josh Trank, and others. That's the only one I can think of off the top of my head. And more have all entered the revolving door that is signing on to helm a Star Wars for Disney. Oh, sorry, a Star War. I bloody hate when folks say that. Only to walk right back out again, or find themselves going in circles, despite their continued reassurances that they will one day walk all the way in. I'm sure Ryan Johnson still thinks his trilogy is going to happen. With Dungeons and Dragons, is that what they mean? I presume. Oh no, Dan and Dave. Yeah, Dan and Dave, isn't it? Not Dungeons and Dragons. Whatever. Making the press rounds again. Is it Dan and Dave? I forgot the bloody names. Does it say? It doesn't say, does it? Oh, Dave. Yeah, Dan and... Yeah. Dan and Dave. Making the press rounds again lately after one assumes 5 years of holing up in a remote cabin in the wilderness while they waited for the furor over the final season of Thrones to die down. It's given journalists the chance to pick their brains about their own abandoned vacation to a galaxy far, far away drinking game. What the hell am I drinking? Oh, 7-Up cherry flavour. Oh, right. The pair were announced to be working on a Star Wars film before Thrones reached its fiery conclusion, and thusly they rushed it through because they wanted to get away and start their Star Wars thing, only to depart after locking down a mega deal with Netflix a year later. In recent interviews, Benioff and Weiss, is it Weiss or Weiss, whatever, have confirmed their idea was to make a movie about the First Jedi, which Lucasfilm apparently wasn't interested in at the time, despite having since tapped James Mangold to essentially do the same thing. Mangold's actually done this dance before himself, having flirted with directing a Boba Fett movie by way of a borderline R-rated spaghetti western some years ago. Looking back, however, the pair feel that it all worked out for the best. It probably did, to be completely honest. At least with Netflix, you know you're going to get paid, aren't you? Star Wars shaped our lives, Benioff told GQ, Gentleman's Quarterly. There have been so many movies at this point and so many TV series. This is also made the prospect of adapting author, Liu Chiching's, I don't know, sci-fi novel series, The Three Body Problem. I've said it before, but it sounds like a Sherlock Holmes story, doesn't it? Something, Arthur Conan Doyle had written. Into a TV series all the more enticing to them. The upside to being the first to adapt an acclaimed sci-fi property is that it spares you from being compared to what's come before. They're good at adapting, though, aren't they? When they get, have to do things off their own back, that's when Game of Thrones went wrong, didn't it? When they didn't have the books to fall back on. Just George's notes. Anyway, that being the case, Benioff and Weiss were intrigued when Peter Friedlander, the head of scripted series at Netflix in the US and Canada, suggested they check out Liu's books shortly after the pair closed their deal with the company. As Benioff recalled, in a minute, first to adapt outside the two versions that were already made. I don't know. Is this in China? Probably. I don't know. It was a little bit fresher as opposed to being like the 43rd dudes to come onto a Star Wars project, to come in early on with Three Body Problem. Something brand new was exciting. Here we go. Liu's novels have since been turned into a 30-episode Chinese series that debuted in its homeland in 2023 before quietly making its way onto Peacock last month. For the vast majority of viewers in the West, though, Three Body Problem will mark their first time experiencing the story on the small screen. That itself could be both a blessing and a curse. Should Benioff, Weiss and co-creator Alexander Wu, any relation to John, don't know, stick the landing, it could end up giving Netflix an answer to its rivals' own prestige literary sci-fi TV offerings like Foundation at Apple TV+. If they don't, then it could poison the well and prevent Liu's other books from ever getting the same treatment. It's quite different from the situation with Star Wars. The Mouse House would have no doubt continued to milk the IP dry, regardless of whether Benioff and Weiss's project flopped or soared. Three Body Problem, check out the full-length trailer here, there's a link. Stars Rosalind Chow, who we know from Star Trek, don't we? Benedict Wong, or is it Wang? Jovan Adipo, I'm getting all these wrong. Eiza Gonzalez, John Bradley, Liam Cunningham, who we know from Game of Thrones, Jonathan Pryce, who we also know from Game of Thrones, and many more. You can stream the first season on Netflix starting March 21st, 2024. I know her from somewhere. What have I seen her in? She looks familiar. It's not Marvel's Katie, is it? I don't know. So, anyway, whatever. I'm sure it's fine. But yeah, They went to do Star Wars and ended up doing something else, like many others, Patty Jenkins, etc., Colin Trevorrow, and Kevin Feige. No, it's not Awkwafina. Oh, well, it looks a bit like. I wasn't thinking of her, though. I was thinking of somebody else. I wasn't thinking of Awkwafina. I think I've seen her as something else. But anyway, I don't know. Right, let's move on. Right, what's next? Oh, yes. I did actually read this one because I was intrigued. By this one. What's this one from? Total Film is this one. I meant to put it on. Last week I forgot to add the story to the screen, didn't I? On the last one or the next to last one, whatever. And nobody told me, because it just proves that nobody's really watching. Anyway, never mind. She's the one who played Marvel's Katie, is it? All right, I don't know. I watched it once. I don't know. Shang-Chi, or Shang-Chi, however you're bloody supposed to pronounce it. Right, a major Star Wars goof has been discovered. I wouldn't call it a major goof. Has been discovered in Revenge of the Sith's best scene. And you'll never watch it the same way again. Move over, Jeans guy. And it is a real thing, because I checked. Star Wars has a long... It might be an old... you might be saying, we all know about it. We've all seen it. But anyway, Star Wars has a long storied history of minor mistakes creeping into its movies and TV shows, from a stormtrooper bumping into the Death Star set on The New Hope through to the Mandalorian's jeans guy, which they erased, didn't they? Bloody, that's just like, killjoy stuff, isn't it? Anyway, there's always a crew member or goof waiting to be uncovered. Case in point, almost 20 years after release, Star Wars fans on Reddit have discovered an all-timer of a cameo in Revenge of the Sith. A random man just standing there during Obi-Wan and Anakin's climactic battle on Mustafar. It's like for 2 frames, because I checked. So here's the quote. So, I'm on the Star Wars Reddit Discord server, and this guy says there's a guy hidden during the Mustafar fight scene. It's just Monty wrote. So, using my QuickTime button pressing, I spam my spacebar, and lo and behold, you mean lo, L-O? Lo and behold, there's just a dude there during the fight. If you pause the film at exactly 1 hour, 59 minutes... Oh, pardon me. 3.21 seconds, you will see him there. Here's a shot from Disney Plus. Pretty crazy stuff. Yeah, it's crazy. Wonder if a random editor put himself in there as a joke to say, I'm in a Star Wars movie. Laughing, with eyes squeezed, whatever. This is the precursor to Jeans Guy. Anyway, so here we are. Here's the Reddit thing. And there he is. There, you can see him there. It's for like 2 frames, because I did look. I did check. It's like... it's like 1.5 frames, really, because the frame before this is like half covered up. All this were filmed on a green screen, obviously, so it's obviously they've missed these couple of frames. Obviously, they're doing leaping about, aren't they? So they're probably leaping about on wires and stuff, so they've probably got stuntmen or whatever there to catch them and to steady them, when they're landing and all that, on pads and stuff. So that's probably all that fella is. They've probably he's leaping, and he's just there, just in case something goes wrong. And they forgot to rub him out, essentially, for 1 frame, 1.5 frames. So that's probably all he's there for. Anyway, honestly, mind blown. This lightsaber duel has always... But nobody ever talks about the mysterious figure in the Millennium Falcon in A New Hope, Star Wars. When they take off from Tatooine, from Mos Eisley, as they're heading up into orbit, you see a view from the cockpit. You see a mysterious figure heading down the corridor, and it's not one of our characters. We already know where they are. It's just a mysterious figure in white. It's a ghost, just like in 3 Men and a Baby. Anyway. This lightsaber duel has always been a highlight of Episode 3, and now it's forever haunted by the fact that some guys perched behind Anakin. Worse still, he doesn't even have the high ground. No wonder we never see him again. More recently, Star Wars had errors hiding in The Mandalorian and the Book of Boba Fett. In the latter, there's a hollowed-out set, which could be glimpsed during one chase scene. Yes, there is. Well, it's like you're seeing a facade, because obviously it was filmed, they built a set, didn't they, an outdoor set. And I think it were in some chase down the street, and you could see that it was just a facade. You know, you could see like the wooden bits. So they forgot to get rid of that, didn't they? And of course, there's the infamous aforementioned jeans guy, a Mandalorian crew member in jeans, naturally, poking out the back of a frame. There were about half of him, weren't there? The shot was later edited and removed from Disney Plus. Bloody miserable buggers. Maybe the same fate will befall Mustafar Man. I think it's a bit late now, isn't it? That's it. There we go. So there you go. So it's, like I say, it's about a frame and a half at 1 hour 59 minutes, and I forgot already. 1 hour 59 minutes, 3.21 seconds is there. As I said, he's probably just there. He's a man waiting to catch Hayden Christensen or whoever, you know, when he does a jump on a wire. Yeah, there in case something goes wrong. And they forgot to erase him. That's all. Or they just didn't notice it. Obviously, but anyway. So there we go. Goofs are plenty in everything. There's mistakes in everything, isn't there? Nothing's perfect. I bet there's loads of goofs in Dune Part 2. Not that I'll see it until it comes onto streaming. Right. What's next? Another Star Wars. This from the Digital Fix. Jacob Barnes wrote this one. George Lucas loves the most divisive Star Wars movie, and he's right. I'm going to get angry at this, aren't I? If they're talking about what I think they're talking about. And plus, I don't think he loved it. But let's see what the article says. If anyone is entitled to their opinion on Star Wars, it's George Lucas. And it seems he's on the right side of history when it comes to this Star Wars movie. Jacob Barnes is a dickhead. Sorry, but he is. In literary terms. The Star Wars fandom is a strange place. While many of us can find something to love in just about every Star Wars film, there are... For instance, my favourite of the prequels is Attack of the Clones. So there we go. And I got some gentle ribbing yesterday about that, but never mind. There are some fans who will probably go as far as to skip The Last Jedi when watching the Star Wars movies in order. I'd watched Force Awakens. Of all the Disney, the Skywalker saga, I think I just watched up to Force Awakens. Well, no, I'll probably just even watch that now. But I wouldn't watch Last Jedi or Rise of Palpatine. But I didn't mind Force Awakens, but it did have problems. He said he's right. He sold his rights. He has not opinion that matters. Well, no, let's say sold it to the white slavers, didn't it? How about you put it? I still think it was a hostile takeover. I think essentially he had a gun pointed at him off camera while he signed it. George Lucas certainly wouldn't, though, and it seems the creator of the Galaxy Far, Far Away drinking game is ready to go to bat for the most divisive of all the Star Wars flicks. He's not. When Ruin Johnson stepped up to bring his own vision to the mighty franchise, he did something very brave and controversial. He added a new dimension, to one of the best Star Wars characters by making Luke Skywalker more cynical, and he effectively altered the mythos of the Jedi Order itself by proving you don't need to be a part of the Skywalker family tree to be special. Broom Boy. Broom Boy was that special, they didn't even bother trying to free him. They freed all the animals, didn't they? I forgot her bloody name now. Rose Tico, and Finn. They freed all the animals, left the kids, sod them. I won't be skipping it. Steve won't let me. Eh? I'm not tending to skip anything. You did Attack of the Clones, which is fine. Anyway, sounds good, right? Well, you won't hear any complaints from this writer. But there are whole legions of Star Wars fans who utterly despise what Johnson did to their favourite hero. Yeah. But if one man knows best when it comes to Star Wars, it's George Lucas. After coming up with the entire concept of the franchise, Lucas has seen the good, the bad and the ugly, and it's safe to say he can recognise the best science fiction movies when he sees them. According to a report from the Hollywood Reporter, Connie Wethington, a rep for Lucas, revealed the man himself was delighted with his screening of The Last Jedi. Lucas said the film was beautifully made and was complimentary when speaking to Johnson after the showing. Well, he would be. He's not going to say, "You've ruined it all," is he? And yes, I've heard that before. That he said it was a well-made film, but he still didn't like it, did he? And it is looks lovely. It's a lovely looking film. It's a pity it's shit, but it looks nice. It's nice looking shit. I would have skipped all the Anakin Padme romance stuff, or even the pole dancing scene. Oh dear. Anyway, he's right too. Not only is it conceptually fascinating, but The Last Jedi also brings out the best in many members of the Star Wars cast. Does it? I don't think so. Mary Poppins, Leia. What else happens? Finn. They make Finn a comedy person, a comedy foil. Rose Tico's just an idiot who just crashes. Basically, just wants everybody to die because she loves Finn, who doesn't love her. It's stupid and rubbish. It's visually stunning, and it catapults Kylo Ren into the upper echelons of our list of the best Star Wars villains. No, it don't. It's just like in the first one. At least it doesn't really change that much from the first film to the second film. He's still like a spoiled brat, isn't he? It's just a shame the fallout of the reactions to the film led to the mess that is The Rise of Palpatine. The Rise of Palpatine is better than The Last Jedi. It's a comedy, but it's still better. It's more fun to watch, let's put it that way. Now go read why George Lucas was right about Star Wars. There's a link there. Where is it? Don't know. But if you want blah, 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 blah. So there we go. No, this article's written by an idiot. Sorry, Jacob Barnes. You're a div. And you don't know what you're talking about. But if you like The Last Jedi, fine. Just don't expect anybody to agree with you. So there we go. And George Lucas didn't love it. He said it was well made. But that's about it. He probably shook Rian Johnson's hand and said, "You've made a nice film there," and went and said, "What an arsehole," as he walked out. Probably. Unbelievable. Right, what's next? Oh, we're moving on to Star Trek now. Dear. Right, this is from Giant Freaking Robot, Charlene Badassy, or Badassy, whatever. The best Star Trek showrunner, really, moving on from franchise. And there's Captain Picard. In one of the movies, don't know which one, probably Nemesis, looks like it, doesn't it? Terry Matalas, who worked as the sole showrunner on Star Trek Picard Season 3, is moving on from the franchise. Quote, "I'm working on some things I can't talk about yet." Star Trek Legacy coming mid-2025. "And I'm meeting on some things I can't talk about." Star Trek Legacy. "But they're cool, not Star Trek Legacy." It's just Star Trek Legacy without the hyphen. Not hyphen, colon. Anyway. Guys, there's no secret here. That's not a thing. "I can tell you that I'm not working on anything Star Trek at the moment. Methinks he protests too much. Metallus explained in late February. There he is. While Terry Metallus is enthusiastically looking forward to what comes next for Star Trek without him, he's ready to return to the final frontier. He assured fans that he would be willing to contribute in any capacity. If they need somebody to paint the walls, I'll be there, whatever, he added. They know where to find me. If they ever wanted me, I would happily be a part of it. Yep, okay. And there's a nice fan-made wallpaper or whatever of the Enterprise refit with blue or purple, whatever. And the Miranda class. Terry Metallus also admitted it's probably from Star Trek 2, isn't it? Recreation or whatever. Anyway, Terry Metallus also admitted that he would love to return for Legacy if the project ever gets off the ground. Hang on. Except everyone has turned on Terry in the past 2 months, have they? I don't know. What do you mean by everyone? Everyone in the world or everyone connected with Picard Season 3? I don't know. So you should do a new show, Win Grace, because you read everything. While he failed to mention specific details, Metallus said he would love to revisit the 25th century with the next generation and new characters, next generation crew, whatever, and new characters. He also mentioned that his proposed storylines would involve Klingons and Worf and Alexander. He said that as well. I keep seeing tons of YouTube content about him being crap. Oh, right. Oh. I haven't seen anything about him being crap. But I'm the first to say, Picard Season 3, while it were good and by far the best of the seasons of Picard, it wasn't perfect, but I did enjoy it. Anyway, the Star Trek showrunner, and he did well with what he had. He didn't have a lot of money, did he? And he made the best Picard series. Anyway, the Star Trek showrunner discussed a potential structure for Legacy, explaining that he would like to find a balance between serialization and episodic storytelling, which I think they've done quite well in Strange New Worlds, to be completely honest. But anyway, Terry Metallus's hybrid approach would combine... that's what Star Trek's always been like, really, hasn't it? They've generally had, even back to the TNG days, there's always been like background things going on, and you might not see it or hear about it for like half a season, but then it'll just come back suddenly, won't it? But anyway, I forgot what it was now. Terry Metallus's hybrid approach would combine longer story arcs with standalone of-the-week adventures. He cited The Shield as a perfect example of how serialised threads could interweave seamlessly with episodic formats. Speaking of stuff like The Shield and, CSI, whatever, one of them's appeared on Netflix in the UK. I think it's CSI. I can't remember what it's called. And I've never ever watched any of those, but I've heard they're really good, so I might give them a whirl. Anyway, Star Trek Legacy was initially conceived as a spin-off from Star Trek Picard, which laid the groundwork for new stories in its Season 3 finale. The discussion about a new show began in early 2022 with series creator Akiva Goldsman suggesting... he's an Oscar winner somehow. Suggesting new stories. Executive producer Terry Metallus expressed interest in the idea, and by May 2022, fans were also advocating for a spin-off. Yes, with over 60,000 signatures on an online petition. You just hit it on the head. People seem to think he had 30 million per episode and wasted it. No, he didn't. He had a million an episode or something like that, didn't he? While seasons 1 and 2 of Picard had something like $8 to $10 million per episode, didn't they? And he had hardly anything, which is why the whole season was set on ships, so they could use the standing sets and no location work. The Shield is much different from CSI. Shield's about corrupt cops. Yeah, I'm not on about. I'm just saying it's a popular, cop, procedural whatever, isn't it? I'm not saying it's the same. I'm saying it's, when people talk about those sorts of series, they talk about The Shield and CSI and NCIS and all them, don't they? But which I've never seen any of them. But one of them's popped up on Netflix in the UK. I think it's CSI. But I don't know which one. Or maybe all of them. I don't know, because there's various CSIs, isn't there? Terry Matalas actively championed the Star Trek Legacy concept, gaining support from various creatives involved in the franchise, but as more time passed, several Star Trek actors cast doubts, citing disruptions caused by Hollywood strikes and financial constraints as hurdles for the project. While best known for his work on Star Trek, Terry Matalas has worked on a slew of successful projects. The most notable is 12 Monkeys, which aired from 2015 to 2018. He served as the co-creator, showrunner and executive producer of the series, a sci-fi adaptation of the 1995 film of the same name. Speaking of stuff that might be coming back, did I see somewhere, was it Joseph Malozzi or one of those, talking about we may get a continuation of, I forgot what they call it now. Oh, that series he did, Dark Matter. Did I see? I'm sure I saw that somewhere. Did I dream it? I could have done. I'm sure I've seen that. We could get more, a continuation of Dark Matter, which would be fun. Anyway, the story, 12 Monkeys, follows a time traveller attempting to prevent the release of a deadly virus that leads to the near destruction of humanity. Before 12 Monkeys, Terry Matalas worked as a writer and producer on the popular series Nikita. The show was developed by Craig Silverstein and is based on the 1990 French film of the same name and the 1997 television series La Femme Nikita. The series stars telling us all about Nikita. It stars Maggie Q, word count in it. The series stars Maggie Q as the titular Nikita Mears, a former assassin who goes rogue to bring down the secret government agency that trained her. So it's Jason Bourne then, is it? Known as Division, the agency recruits young people and turns them into highly skilled operatives using questionable methods. Nikita wants to dismantle Division and protect innocent lives from the organisation's dangerous activities. Yeah, whatever. That's from season 2, innit? Episode 2, probably. I think it's episode 2, innit? Terry Matalas' contribution to the sci-fi genre and his storytelling abilities have gained him recognition in television. He won the 2024 Astra Award for Best Writing in a streaming drama series for his work on the Star Trek Picard episode The Last Generation. Is that it? Yes, it is. Star Trek Legacy coming mid-2025. There's a 2024 Dark Matter series coming to Apple. Oh, there we go. So that might be it then. I knew I'd seen it somewhere. Is he moving on from the franchise, or was he just blowing smoke up our bottoms? But, he did say he was not working on it too many times there. Let's count. Not Star Trek Legacy. It's not a thing. I can tell you I'm not working on anything Star Trek. So that's 3 negatives. Which makes a positive? I don't know. So he is working on Star Trek. That's my prediction. My, what was it? TOYG notifications, whatever, I don't know. Right, let's move on. But Star Trek Legacy is coming mid-2025. If it does, I'll explode. Anyway. Oh dear. Right, here we go. This from Den of Geek, Joe George. Why Star Trek needs to forget, section 31. Can guess why I picked this article, because I've not read it, so I'm hoping, he's telling us he's going to be talking about proper things. Industry Insider, that old Yorkshire geek, industry maker-upper of stuff from my head, that old Yorkshire geek, which I think happens quite a bit with other people. Modern Star Trek writers sure love Section 31, but Alex Kurtzman loves Section 31, but they really shouldn't focus so much on Starfleet's cynical shadow. And there's Michelle Yeoh, who I do like. Everybody likes Michelle Yeoh, don't they? Particularly Jean Todt, who's her husband, I think, still. In 1966, Gene Roddenberry and his co-creators gave the world Star Trek, an adventure series that imagined humanity overcoming its racist and sexist and class divisions, excuse me, which inaugurated a new age of exploration. Corny, sure. Imperfect, of course. Nothing's perfect. But that fundamental optimism remains a key aspect of Star Trek, presenting a challenge to those future creators tasked with keeping the franchise alive beyond the years of its birth. That doesn't mean the optimism can't be challenged or recontextualised. Indeed, Star Trek Deep Space Nine did exactly that, and many put that series at the top of their franchise rankings. But Deep Space Nine also introduced Section 31, a black ops organisation within Starfleet, and the darkest alternative to Star Trek optimism this side of the Terran Empire. It's almost like it's an infiltration by, the mirror universe, isn't it? Almost. Anyway. Sadly, later Trek creators have jumped onto the Section 31 concept, resulting in darker, much more pessimistic and paranoid stories that forget the best parts of great Star Trek adventures because they don't understand it. They don't understand it. They just think Section 31 is Starfleet intelligence, and it's not. It's a different thing. But anyway. Starfleet has always had its offshoot divisions, such as the Exploratory Division or Stellar Imaging Division, both commemorated on starship plaques, but Section 31 operates differently as an independent division that's almost totally unknown to the rest of Starfleet. I mean, it was one man, wasn't it, in Deep Space Nine? It was Sloan. I think in one episode we saw he had two fellas with him, like guards or whatever, but it was just him, wasn't it? And then when we saw it again in Enterprise, which remember was set before Deep Space Nine, we saw Section 31. That was just one man, wasn't it? So it didn't have a badge or an ID thing or a bloody a base or a fleet of ships or whatever. Like it had a star base, didn't it? His own star base, which it even did in bloody Picard season 3. That where Kirk was and all that. That was supposed to be a Section 31 thing, wasn't it? Told you it wasn't perfect. Anyway, Section 31 first reared its head in the Deep Space Nine Season 6 episode Inquisition. Was it so late on? Bloody hell. Written by Bradley Thompson and David Weddell and directed by Michael Dorn. Worf. Posing as Starfleet Internal Affairs, Luther Sloan attempts to recruit Bashir into Section 31, first by charging the Doctor with passing secrets to the Dominion, and later by blackmailing him with evidence of his augmentations. I chose to believe it was not Section 31, it was co-opted by them behind the scenes. Fair enough. That's what you want to think. And that might very well be true. That's a headcanon's a powerful thing. I fall back on it myself many times. Right, played by character actor great William Sadler, who was we saw on last week's Friday Night Appointment with Fear because he was in The Mist, wasn't he? Sloan became a regular feature in the final 2 seasons of Deep Space Nine, as did Section 31. The organisation made sense in that series as the farthest limit that Starfleet would go to protect its vaunted ideals during a time of war. But yet, in the episode In the Pale Moonlight, Section 31 was nowhere to be seen when Sisko were getting up to his shenanigans, wasn't it? So you don't need Section 31 to do dodgy things, do you? Anyway, even if the actual mechanics didn't make sense, seriously, no one noticed or remembered these guys walking around Federation ships. That was the point. That was the point. It worked on a thematic level for the show. Yes, Sisko could live with moral compromises in pursuit of protecting the rest of the Federation, but Section 31 showed both the extreme end and the limit for him. In other words, Section 31 played a specific role within the specific circumstances of Deep Space Nine. The show put Starfleet in a totally new situation, pitting humanity against an enemy unlike any other. Showrunner Ira Stephen Bear and his blue or purple beard, depending what mood he were in, and the writers put Starfleet and Federation principles to the test. Although Sisko and his crew fell short of that test time and again, Section 31 stood as a reminder of what Starfleet would become if they ultimately failed. Not really. I don't believe that. I don't believe that. I don't think Section 31 had any, notions of taking over Starfleet. They were there to do a job in what Sloan thought. He had a job to do to protect the Federation. He didn't want to take over Starfleet. He just wanted to get his mission done, whatever it was at that time. Anyway, that function is most pronounced in the resolution to the Dominion War. In the final episodes of DS9, Bashir discovers that the virus killing the Founders came from Section 31. Sloan had his team, obviously he must have had a team, didn't do it himself, did he? Develop the virus and inject it into Odo while the Changeling was in Starfleet medical care. But it probably wasn't even his team, though. I mean, he might have been whispering in people's ears, at Starfleet Intelligence and Starfleet Medical and all that. But, anyway, when Odo joined the remaining changelings in the Great Link, he spread the virus to them. To hear Sloan tell it, the virus plot was necessary, as Starfleet and the Federation would be destroyed by the Dominion. When they fell, all their ideals would die with them. Sloan saw himself as an ironic hero, one who protects Starfleet and the Federation by violating its principles. It would go to any limits to protect the Federation, didn't it? So devoted to this concept was Sloan that he committed suicide before Bashir could find a way to cure the virus. Rather than accepting defeat, Bashir maintained that most important of Federation ideals, he kept hope. He and Chief O'Brien worked tirelessly to find a cure, saving not only their friend Odo, but what was left of the changelings in the Great Link. In short, DS9 showed Starfleet rejecting Section 31 and all it stood for. The series did not bring on Section 31 for cool action and edgy stories, but to reinforce the importance of Starfleet ideals. If only the rest of Trek did the same. We're still going. We're still going. I thought that was the end of the article, and it's not. Things didn't get too far out of hand at first. To retroactively explain the difference between Klingons on the original series and Klingons on the Next Generation, the Enterprise two-parter Affliction and Divergence had a reason to bring back Section 31. In this story, the Secret Division kidnaps Dr. Phlox to heal the augment virus, which is why the original series Klingons look different. I thought the Klingons kidnapped him and gain an edge over Starfleet's rival empire. I thought it were the Klingons that kidnapped him, not Section 31. I know Reed got in touch with Section 31 to find out what happened, didn't he? I'm sure he did. But I don't think they kidnapped him. I could be wrong. I wonder what modern Trek would do if they had never created Section 31 in DS9. To think of something to mess up. They would. Again, no one necessarily needed an explanation, and the weird Discovery Klingons threw that all out of the window anyway. But if you're going to explain it, then Section 31 makes sense. Plus, the episode reveals Malcolm Reed's association with the organisation, which helped flesh out his character a bit more. Something that anyone who wasn't Archer, T'Pol or Trip desperately needed. We could even accept Section 31 Harris showing up in later episodes to sabotage the Proto-Federation. The true problems with Section 31 became clear in the J.J. Abrams reboot movies. The 2009 Star Trek gets by with a breathless pace and glossy filmmaking, ensuring that everyone is having too much fun to get upset about the many shortcomings in the script by Roberta Orci and Alex Kurtzman. Nah, I bloody hated it. But the wrong-headed 2013 sequel Star Trek Into Darkness positioned Section 31 as the movie's big bad. Not only is Section 31 head Admiral Marcus the movie's ultimate villain, but the Kelvin universe Khan Noonien Singh is a Section 31 agent. God, it were awful. Operating under the name John Harrison. The organisation allowed Abrams and returning Orci and Kurtzman, now joined by Damon Lindelof, for God's sake, the unholy trinity, to indulge in the darker side of Trek, leaving behind the shiny optimism of the original series era they claimed to adapt. Disastrous as Star Trek Into Darkness was, Kurtzman carried those ideals into his tenure as franchise head. For all its wonderful weirdness, Star Trek Discovery, also really leaned into being dark and edgy in its first 2 weaker seasons, focusing on the mirror universe for Season 1 and then Section 31 in Season 2. They just stole a storyline, didn't they? From, can't remember, David Mack? Might have been. Like they do a lot. They do steal stories a lot, don't they? Heck, it combined the two by making deposed Terran Emperor Philippa Georgiou into a Section 31 agent in the Prime universe. After the Discovery shoots into the future for its 3rd season, Section 31 gets left behind, but not the secret forces undermining the Federation. But the division has popped in other new shows, other new Trek shows since, albeit as a joke on lower decks. Even the largely upbeat 3rd season of Picard could not resist invoking Section 31 in its DS9 callbacks using changelings who suffered the division's experimentations during the Dominion War as secondary antagonists. Still, despite the beauty of having Michelle Yeoh in the Star Trek universe, the prospect of a Section 31 movie starring Georgiou seems more like a threat than a promise. Well, I'd forgot the title of the article. Why they need to forget about Section 31. Right. Section 31 Defenders, I didn't know this was going to be so long. Section 31 Defenders will insist that because the division has been involved in some good stories, not in the new Trek, which justifies the increased attention over the years. Indeed, the story of Trek is in many ways the story of exploring initially underserved aspects of the universe, whether it be characters such as Data and Seven of Nine, or the Federation itself. Heck, the holodeck/holosuite episodes, or the musical episode of Strange New Worlds are all extensions of the Earth-like planets that the Enterprise visited for budget reasons in the original series. However, those worthy offshoots worked because they lent themselves to the type of storytelling that Trek does best, fundamentally optimistic about people overcoming their fear and prejudice to work together. As most time travel episodes demonstrate, the optimism of Trek stands contrary to our current sceptical age. Darker, more grounded stories have more immediacy and can be more powerful, which is why Battlestar Galactica outdid Enterprise in the 2000s. Not in my book it didn't, but as the world gets worse and the ideals of peace-seeking, community and overcoming xenophobia become harder to see, Trek optimism grows all the more important. Yes, I'm going to highlight that. There you go. For all of his flaws, Roddenberry's initial vision of humanity working together still resonates and is even more necessary today. To be clear, I'm not saying that Section 31, the fellow that wrote this, I forgot who it was. I'm not saying that Section 31, George, wasn't it? I'm not saying that Section 31 should never come up again. However, it does present a temptation to Trek writers who can't do the hard work of telling good stories in an optimistic future. Section 31 allows them to fall back on easy tropes about secrets and conflict, which work great in other settings, but undermine Trek. Writers need to put Section 31 on the shelf for a while, or maybe forever, and explore other aspects of the universe, aspects that give us the hope we so desperately need today. And when they bring back the division, it should be used like it was in Deep Space Nine, as a limit that we cannot reach, a warning against the compromises we're so often tempted to make. Only then can Section 31 fit within the hopeful, unlikely, but also needed world of Star Trek. Star Trek Section 31 is a streaming movie starring Michelle Yeoh, currently in production, blah, blah, blah. Right. So remember that. Trek optimism grows all the more important. Yes, it does in today's world. So, yes, I think they shouldn't do any more Section 31 stuff. Just forget about it. It's done with. No more Section... It died with Sloane, did Section 31. Even though it's part of the... in Enterprise, it was part of the Starfleet Charter. But in Deep Space Nine, it was part of the Federation Charter. So I don't know when it changed. But, what is it? Article 14, Section 31, or something like that, isn't it? So it's not like it's like a rogue agency. It's not like, well, no, it's not a rogue agency because it's part of the charter, isn't it, of the Federation or Starfleet. So it's not a rogue agency. It's there. It's in the charter. That it's been written into law, so to speak. That there's going to be a division that's going to protect the Federation at any cost. It's not like in the Bourne films. It's not like what they call it, I forgot what they call it now. Treadstone. It's not like Treadstone or one of the other side projects where they had agents going off and assassinating people and stuff like that without government oversight and stuff like that, is it? It's not one of those sorts of things. But anyway, I still think they should do away with it. Anyway. I feel like this was written by me if I needed to fill an extra 5 pages. Oh dear. But yes, they should do away with Section. Forget about it. Forget about it. Maybe mention it occasionally. You know, remember when Section 31 was running around. They should say that every now and again. But Section 31 should no longer exist. They've done away with it. Right, so there we go. And I'm not looking forward to the film. I'm not looking forward to it at all. I just don't think it'll be very good. But you never know, they might surprise us. I say that with everything, like The Acolyte. But somehow, I don't think they will surprise us. I think it'll just be poo. Right, let's move on. We're getting there. Sticking with Star Trek. Now then. I haven't read this one. I haven't read any of them. I glanced at one of them, but I can't remember what this one is. Right, this one's from Giant Freaking Robots, Chris Snellgrove. Star Trek Picard's best character proves Gene Roddenberry wrong. I can't remember which character it is. Anyway. Wingress says, mention it post DS9 is fine since the info would have come to light. Well, yeah, because it was supposed to be a secret, wasn't it, until then. But I said they had it in Discovery, didn't they? Everybody knew about Section 31, didn't they? In the very first episode, or was it the third episode? It was in the third episode, when we first went on Discovery, when we had Michael Burnham, when she was a prisoner. Remember when she was a prisoner? In the third episode, when we finally got on the USS Discovery, they were there, weren't they, the prisoners, and they saw the Section 31 guards, because they were mentioning, oh, look at them black badges. So everybody knew about Section 31 then. The secret agency, I don't know. Anyway, Star Trek Picard's best character proves Gene Roddenberry wrong, and I don't know who it is. I genuinely don't know who it is. Anyway. The third season of Star Trek Picard reunited our titular character with his old bridge crew from the Next Generation. This led to one incredible scene after another with our favourite characters, but to our surprise, the real best character of the entire season was Captain Shaw. I won't. He was an original character created especially for this season. Excuse me. And Shaw's appeal to fans as a prickly swine with a tortured background, once and for all, proves Gene Roddenberry was wrong when he said Star Trek shouldn't have any character conflict. Engage. If you're a newer fan to the franchise, you might be wondering what the heck Roddenberry said and how it connects back to Shaw. When The Next Generation began, and Roddenberry was very active in its development, he had a rule that said that our characters couldn't have any interpersonal conflicts. Roddenberry thought that humanity would simply be more enlightened by the 24th century, but this rule seriously annoyed the early Star Trek writers because character conflict is generally what drives the very best stories. We all love Gene Roddenberry, but he's like George Lucas. He was a bit of an idiot at times, wasn't he? He was. He was a bit of a div at times. He couldn't see the wood for the trees, essentially, and came up with some bonkers notions. He was always bringing in, like I said, godlike entities. That was Gene Roddenberry. You know a Gene Roddenberry story? There was some godlike entity appearing. He loved those, anyway. I don't agree with this. Shaw had reasons, much like Decker from Doomsday Machine. Well, this is it, exactly. I think what Roddenberry meant was that not all humans didn't argue. I think he meant they shouldn't have any conflicts within the ensemble cast. You know, that you had like a main cast, didn't you? That's 7 or 9 characters, and you shouldn't have any interpersonal conflicts between them. They're the main ones. But I think any coming from outside, you know, even human ones, you could have. Even in Next Generation they did, didn't they? They had, in the first season, they had, I forgot his name, Kaczynski, didn't they? That warp field specialist. They had conflicts with him, didn't they? Because he was an idiot and didn't know what he was doing. Because it was the Traveller doing everything, wasn't it? But, so yeah. But I think he meant, you know, the ensemble shouldn't be fighting. But anyway. When Roddenberry's health worsened and he had to step back from The Next Generation, this rule mostly went away, and it certainly went, well, kind of from season 3, really, wasn't it? When Michael Piller came on board, didn't he? And he started changing things around. And we got better stories, didn't we, in season 3 of TNG. But anyway, when Roddenberry's health worsened and he had to step back from The Next Generation, this rule mostly went away, and it certainly went out the window when Roddenberry died. Future Star Trek shows like Deep Space Nine and Discovery ditched this rule, giving us plenty of juicy character conflict to help drive some amazing stories forward. I don't agree with that either, really. I don't think Deep Space Nine had any more character conflict, you know, within the crew than Next Generation did. Really. The only thing you had really was Kira was kind of prickly, you know, and didn't really want Starfleet there. And that was it, wasn't it? But she wants Starfleet. Which is why I didn't vote for him. Windgrace's Poe of the character you wanted to see in a Starfleet uniform. Because she didn't want to be Starfleet. That brings us back to Captain Shaw and how firmly ignoring Roddenberry's old rule helped create the most compelling new character. You were supposed to hate Captain Shaw. Well, I didn't hate him, but I just didn't like him very much. I don't know why everybody liked him. When Star Trek Picard first introduced Shaw, audiences were clearly meant to hate the guy. He's rude and dismissive to Picard and Riker, immediately making it clear that he doesn't care about their legendary exploits. On top of that, Shaw is consistently dead-naming 7 of 9, calling her... No, he won't call her Captain Hansen, calling her Commander Hansen. Against her wishes, to anyone who loved Star Trek Voyager, it was tempting to punch Shaw's teeth out every time he deliberately made her angry by refusing to call her 7 of 9. But we do... It's probably going to tell us in the article. We do know why, because that was, you know, explained. And that's going to show us here in his spoilers, his death scene. How does Roddenberry's old rule come into play with this character? Again, in Deep Space Nine, Episode 1, we saw that Sisko and... a similar thing, this really, with Sisko and Picard. Because Sisko had been at the Battle of Wolf 359, much as Shaw had. And he was a survivor of the Battle of Wolf 359, was Sisko. And he lost his wife, didn't he, in that battle? So he wasn't happy being around Picard, who, if you remember, was Locutus in that battle. So we were just retreading old characters, really. Sci-Fi Quest says, I want to see Nicole de Boer back as Captain Ezri Dax. I just want to see Nicole de Boer. Because she's lovely. Anyway, how does Roddenberry's old rule come into play with this character? We eventually get Shaw's tragic backstory. As an ensign, he fought against the Borg. By the way, the backstory that I predicted, and everybody told me I was going to be wrong, but I was right. And I haven't got room to do the Iron Fist thing. To spin round on my chair, I haven't got room. I'll knock things over. But anyway. As an ensign, he fought against the Borg, led by the assimilated Captain Picard at Wolf 359, and carries unresolved trauma from being the last man aboard his ship to get ordered onto a life pod. While not necessarily excusing his words and actions, Shaw's sad story, as related to Picard, explains why he's been such a terrible jerk, because Picard and 7 of 9 remind him of his trauma and of the 11,000 people killed at Wolf 359. Yeah, which is fair enough. And like I said, that was a similar thing for Cisco and Picard in the first episode of Deep Space Nine, Emissary. Star Trek is a franchise that previously shied away from character conflict. Not really. But Shaw butting heads with our favourite characters led to some awesome on-screen moments, including him confessing his hatred of Picard, the only Borg so deadly they gave him a goddamn name. From here, Shaw redeems himself, taking a fatal blast to help save the fleeing crew. Spoilers. This includes 7 of 9, who he finally addresses by her proper name and uses his dying breath to temporarily make her captain. She would have done anyway. She was second in command. So when he dies, she'd have been captain anyway, but never mind. He gave her his blessing. That's what he did. Anyway. I don't know why, because he got killed by Borg. She's a Borg, so it should have made him even angrier against her, really, shouldn't it? But never mind. We later see his previously recorded crew evaluation report for 7, where he acknowledges she's brave and loyal and recommends her permanent promotion to captain. If this scene doesn't make you cry, my friend, then you might just be a soulless Borg yourself. I mean, I cry at anything, but I didn't cry at that. But Sci-Fi Quest had a dream last night. The Statue of Liberty was sucking all the air from the earth. You be what? Oh, yes. I've got to... What time is it? 11 o'clock, isn't it? You're doing Spaceballs, aren't you? As the creator of Star Trek, Gene Roddenberry would never have allowed a conflict-driven and traumatised character like Shaw to be created. However, the conflicts that drove Shaw helped make him a breakout fan-favourite character, and he arguably stole the show from the title character Picard. No, he didn't. But no, this wouldn't have counted in Roddenberry's rules. They're misinterpreting Roddenberry's rules. He were an out... They could have conflict with him because he were an outside character. In the original series and in Next Generation, as we've said, they had members of Starfleet or other humans, such as scientists and stuff, coming in and causing conflict. So he's just another one. When it comes to breaking Roddenberry's rules, they didn't. Modern Trek fans need to acknowledge what Shaw said about 7 in his final mission report, that the rules that get broken, maybe they were broken to begin with. So there we go. I disagree with this article. But, fine. That's what, is it Joe George? No, Chris Snellgrove, whatever. If that's what he thinks, then, he's wrong. But I agree that Gene shouldn't have had that rule. You're going to have conflict, even in the 24th century. Humans are humans. And me. I mean, they were a bit poor-faced in the 24th century, weren't they? But anyway, that's probably because of Gene's rules about not having any interpersonal conflict within the ensemble. But anyway. Also, in a random American diner, an alien sang and danced on the counter. Yes, it did. Hello, my baby. Hello, my honey. Right, what's next? Let's power through. We're getting there. A lot of giant freaking robot articles. Right, this is the one that Windgrace has been waiting for. But it's not. It's nothing. Giant freaking robot from Matthew Flynn, the first big budget sci-fi movie. It's not. Is now available without Netflix. More than half a century after its release. Way more than half a century. Forbidden Planet still stands. I mean, it's like nearly 3/4 of a century. Forbidden Planet still stands as a monumental pillar in the field of science fiction cinema. With an unprecedented budget and innovative storytelling techniques, it was truly ahead of its time. Let's take a journey through the enigmatic universe of Forbidden Planet, exploring its monumental budget, deep ties to Shakespeare, and its enduring appeal in popular culture. Yes, it is Robbie the Robot. Released in 1965, 1956. What are you talking about? Released in 1965, Forbidden Planet is a 1956. What? Proofreading. Hashtag proofreading. Thing of the past. Released in 1956, Forbidden Planet was directed by Fred M. Wilcox. Was it Fred McLeod Wilcox or something? Who was most famous, his previously most famous film was Lassie Come Home, which starred a young Roddy McDowall, if I recall correctly, and starred Walter Pidgeon, Anne Francis and Leslie Nielsen, conceived with a then staggering budget of nearly $2 million. Not really, it were a lot, particularly for 1956, but, you know, I wouldn't call it staggering. I mean, Metropolis, which came out in, 1927, something like that, 26, 27. That had a budget of, I think, about $1 million, and that's in 1927, during a recession from Germany, you know, which were crippling, you know, under like superinflation and stuff like that. But anyway, not that one. It's not that robot. Loved Lassie Come Home when I was a kid. Yes, so did I. I hadn't seen it for a long time. I think that had me crying as a kid. It was based on that. I think the story was it based on that. I forgot the bloody name of it now. In a cemetery, it might be in Edinburgh somewhere. There's like a statue of a dog that waited by its. It went a long way to go to its owner's grave or something like that, didn't it? It's a bit loosely based on that, isn't it, I think. Anyway, back to Forbidden Planet. Conceived with a then staggering budget of nearly $2 million, it was a landmark production that showcased what could be done in sci-fi if given enough support. It was like the first proper studio sci-fi movie, wasn't it? MGM, had all the MGM gloss on it, didn't it? It wasn't like a low-budget B movie. It was the first like A movie, sci-fi movie sort of thing, wasn't it? Well, maybe not the first, but it was up there. Its budget was exceptional for that era. Stop going on about its budget, particularly for a genre that often faced budgetary constraints. Forbidden Planet's sizable funds were extensively used for creative set design, groundbreaking special effects, and its innovative score, which caused a bit of a kerfuffle because they weren't allowed to call it a score. They weren't allowed to call it music either. It was called electronic tonalities. That's what it was called. They couldn't call it music because it was electronic music. And so if you look at the titles, it says Electronic Tonalities by, I can't remember the names, two people. I think we're a husband and wife team, I think. But, yeah. So they couldn't call it music, so it couldn't be, I don't think it couldn't be nominated for an Oscar or anything like that. Bigotry. Musical bigotry. I had a thing for animal movies and shows. White Fang, Littlest Oboe, and Benji, to name a few. The superbly crafted spaceship and the planet's environment, including the incredibly vivid id monster, were a testament to the creator's commitment. It still scares me, does that id creature? Still does. It's almost Lovecraftian. Were a testament to the creator's commitment to highly aesthetic and engaging visuals. They brought in some like Disney animators, didn't they, for that? There he is again. Thick and heavy. Would 60 gallons be sufficient? Forbidden Planet's storytelling strength lies in its creative amalgamation of science fiction and literature. The film is notably rooted in Shakespeare's fantasy The Tempest, with elements of the plot and character dynamics mirroring the bard's timeless play. This narrative depth added a sense of sophistication. Sophistication? Don't talk to me about sophistication. I've been to Leeds. So it's a Harry Enfield skit. And complexity that was relatively rare in science fiction films of its time. They like showing Robbie the Robot, don't they? But, more money was spent. I think a huge chunk of the budget went on Robbie the Robot. In Forbidden Planet, the crew of the starship C-57D, which you see that name in Serenity, the film Serenity, when they go to Miranda, travels to the distant Altair 4 to uncover the fate of a lost expedition, ignoring ominous warnings along the way. Well, no, not along the way. When they get there, ignoring an ominous warning. As the only survivors, Dr. Edward Morbius, his daughter Altera, and their robot servant Robbie present a mystery that grows more complex with the discovery of an unseen planetary force. I've got Forbidden Planet on HD DVD over there. So let's see if I can find it. No, I can't be bothered. But I have got it on HD DVD. Got nothing to play it on. As the crew, and it comes with, in the HD DVD, it comes with Robbie the Robot's other movie role in The Invisible Boy, which I never got round to watching. Anyway. As the crew, led by Leslie Nielsen as Commander John J. Adams, delves deeper into the planet's secrets, they encounter the technology of an advanced race, the Krell, and alien creatures. The explorers, well, not really, and whatever. The explorers must confront these hidden dangers and dark secrets in a tale of exploration, revelation, and survival. And it kind of inspired Star Trek along the way. And there's Walter Pidgeon as Morbius, Anne Francis as Altera, Leslie Nielsen as Commander Adams, and there's Robbie the Robot. I can't remember who did his voice, sorry. Forbidden Planet was a moderate success at the box office, earning $2.765 million in the US and Canada during its initial run. Sci-Fi Quest says, I had an idea, Steve. You should do every movie Robbie Robot appears in multi-feature. I don't think so. I think he only did 2 films, but he appeared in lots of TV stuff. Let's say he even appeared in Lost in Space, didn't he? He's done a lot of, but I think he's only been in... Well, he appeared in Gremlins as well, didn't he? But I think in the starring role, I think he's only been in 2 films, I think. But I could be wrong. The film was nominated for an Academy Award for Best Visual Effects, in part because it was the first sci-fi film to be set entirely on another planet. Is that true? Don't know. Over time, Forbidden Planet's stature has only continued to grow and is now considered a fundamental entry in the classic science fiction canon. It's amazing, and I'm sure I'll get round to it on Magnificent Mondays one day. Anyway, Forbidden Planet was added to the National Film Registry because of the lasting mark it left on cinema, in addition to the groundbreaking special effects, which I must admit are pretty amazing. The movie was the first to feature a robot with depth of character, as well as the first to be scored exclusively with electronic music. As I said, they weren't allowed to call it music. Electronic tonalities. Beyond its financial and critical success, Forbidden Planet has left an indelible mark on pop culture. It influenced the greenlighting and creation of future science fiction television programmes, such as Star Trek, and inspired generations of filmmakers. Robbie the Robot, the film's mechanical marvel, became a cultural icon and remains a popular symbol of 1950s cinema. Forbidden Planet is now free to stream on Tubi, which we can't get in the UK. We can't get it in the UK. Well, we can use a VPN, but it's not legally available in the UK. I checked. Yes, it's an amazing film, is Forbidden Planet, and if you haven't seen it, go and watch it. It's amazing. Anyway, Castellar, Daniel Garcia's here. Glad Dune 2 is doing well at the box office. I wonder how the video game will be. I didn't even know there was a video game coming out. But anyway. Robin the Robot was Marvin Miller, was he? The voice? I don't know. I can't remember. I can't remember. Right, so there we go. So that was it, Win Grace. It's on Tubi. There we go. Available without Netflix. Why are they saying that? Why do they say available on Tubi? Because they want you to read through the article to get to that bit. That's why. Which we can't get in the UK. I don't know where it's available in the UK. Is it on? It's got to be on Amazon, hasn't it? It must be on Amazon. So I'll check. Hey. Hang on, where are we? Where's me bookmarks? Let's check on Amazon Prime Video. Search on Prime Video. Where is it? There it is. Forbidden Planet. Forbidden Planet. Yes, it's on Prime Video, and it's on, free Prime Video. If you subscribe, it's on there. So let's have a look. Oh no, I bought it. When did I buy it? I don't remember buying it. It says here, you purchased this. When? I've no idea. Let's give it a like anyway. But it's obviously in my list. When did I buy that? I don't know, but I did. I might watch that tonight. Oh dear. Right, let's move on. I love Forbidden Planet. It's an amazing film. And I've never been into the Forbidden Planet shop. I don't even know where there is one around here. Right, gaming news. Next. This is from, I don't know where it's from. The Gaming Bible. Dan Lipscomb. Right, PlayStation offering full refunds for the first AAA game since Cyberpunk 2077. It's been reported, though since deleted, that Sony is accepting refund requests for the first AAA game since Cyberpunk 2077. While the Reddit post and the talk on Twitter have seemingly been removed, there have been accounts that Sony is giving out refunds once the player asks. The game in question is the latest from Rocksteady, Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. With the mixed reviews the game received, the out-of-touch live service elements and the low player count, it's understandable that some fans would want their money back. I mean, I saw on another video stream or whatever, somebody checked on Steam to see how many people were playing this new Suicide Squad game. And it was something like 600. A little bit like older games that have been out for donkey's years. There are like thousands and thousands of people playing them. So not many people are playing this game because apparently it's rubbish. One player took to Reddit to inform others that they had successfully received a refund for the game, despite the strict refund policy of Sony. Sony followed through and issued the full refund, which could spark a wave of players looking to do the same. We said in our review that depending on how you slice it, Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League feels like the last breath of the Arkhamverse rather than an emotional send-off that evolves the series in a meaningful way. Many players have taken to social media to lament the live service elements of the game, which have brought the opinion of the game rather low. The trend seems to be that Rocksteady should have just made a solid game with a finite ending, with the possibilities of DLC characters like the Joker, who releases very soon. I think they were dead in the games. At the time of writing, Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League has less than 220 players on Steam, so it's gone even lower, which must be deemed a failure for Rocksteady and Warner Brothers. Whether more refunds are issued, we'll have to wait and see. There hasn't been any official word from Rocksteady or Sony, but if this starts an avalanche of refunds, we'll hear about it soon enough, and we could have another case of Cyberpunk 2077 on our hands. I'll have to go down to the game shop in town. CEX. I'm not going to call it sex, CEX, and see how many copies they've got on the shelves that people have taken in. Traded in. I'm not going to get it. Which they release a trailer for Alien Romulus and the series. They'll be coming, I suppose. They'll be coming. So there we go. So that's a Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League is not doing well. Not doing well. That's what happens when you get Sweet Baby Inc. into the, to offer their opinions on problematic things in games. Yes, don't make the sweet baby cry. Hey. Want to do away with all that nonsense. Right, finally. I wasn't going to do this. It's not in the list. I'll add it afterwards. But seeing as I think it's the Oscars this weekend, isn't it? I thought we'd do this. Hang on, let me go full screen. This is from the BBC by Steve McIntosh. Oscars 2024, 17 facts you need to know. The film industry has had another eventful year. Super Mario ruled the box office. Barbenheimer became a viral phenomenon. And Saltburn's Barry Keoghan, I don't even pronounce that, Keoghan, whatever, made some questionable choices in a bathtub. I've heard it's good, this Saltburn, but I've not got around to watching it. Meanwhile, the 2024 Oscar nominations reflect just how quickly fortunes can change in Hollywood. This time last year, Margot Robbie had just starred in Babylon, a box office bomb which won 0 Oscars. This year, however, she's heading to the Academy Awards as the face of Barbie, the biggest film of 2023, which grossed $1.4 billion, £1.1 billion, but not far off, are we now, and is nominated in 8 categories. Unbelievable. When the nominations were announced, I've not seen it though, so I don't know. It could be a masterpiece for all I know. When the nominations were announced, dozens of famous faces gathered at the Academy Awards luncheon for the traditional class photo. I presume that's what this is. I can see, there's Margot Robbie there. Look. We've been through the nominations and found 17 interesting facts, quirks, and possible milestones that could be reached at this year's Oscars. Right. Oh, there's Margot. I can't be bothered looking for anybody else. Right. Oh, crikey. All right. Number 1, Emma Stone. There she is. Oh, look, it's all interactive. Isn't it cool? Number 1, Emma Stone could join an exclusive club. The Poor Things star could become the 8th actress. I said actress. To win 2 Oscars by the age of 35, having previously won for La La Land in 2017. I like La La Land. I don't usually like Ryan Gosling, but I quite like La La Land. She would, because I like musicals, you see, so, and I'm old-fashioned. She would follow in the footsteps of Meryl Streep, Jodie Foster, Elizabeth Taylor, Bette Davis, Louise Rayner, Olivia de Havilland, and Hilary Swank. No male actor has ever achieved the same feat. Stone is also only the second woman to be nominated for both acting and producing for the same film, following Nomadland's Frances McDormand in 2020. But Stone's Best Actress win is far from guaranteed. The category is seen as a dead heat between her and Killers of the Flower Moon star Lily Gladstone. So that's number 1. Right, what's next? Number 2. Who's that fella? No idea. Is it... I forgot his name now. It'll tell us. I know it who it is, but I can't remember his bloody name. The Holdovers has achieved a Christmas miracle. The Holdovers is the first Christmas film to be nominated for the Best Picture since the original Miracle on 34th Street in 1948. It's a Wonderful Life was nominated a year earlier. The film tells the story of a grumpy teacher who must stay in his boarding school over Christmas to supervise the children who aren't going home for the holidays. Paul Giamatti, I just saw it down there. Starring Best Actor nominee Paul Giamatti and Best Supporting Actress favourite Divine Joy Randolph, The Holdovers is set at Christmas, features Christmas trees and decorations, and there's plenty of Christmas songs on its soundtrack. So naturally the studio released it in the UK in the middle of January. Of course. There we go. What's next? Number 3, Barbie. Oh, there, that's that person there. Barbie's soundtrack might have a better chance of a trophy than its director. Oh, yeah, it's her, isn't it? Greta Gerwig. who got a face shot off in House of the Devil. Despite missing out on Best Director and Best Actress, Barbie's nominations have already made Oscars history. Greta Gerwig, who directed and co-wrote the film, is the only director to have her first 3 movies nominated for Best Picture: Lady Bird, Little Women and Barbie. So there we go. So stop moaning. Right. We haven't done. However, it's possible that Barbie will only win one of the 8 prizes it's nominated for. 8. Best Original Song for What Was I Made For by Billie Eilish. And there's Billie Eilish. That would mirror the path of 2018's A Star Is Born, the Bradley Cooper film, which also got 8 nominations, but only won in the song category for Lady Gaga's Shallow. Right, number 4, Cillian Murphy. There he is. He's set to break a decade-long trend. Oppenheimer is expected to sweep the Oscars, like it did at the BAFTAs, didn't it? With likely wins in major categories, including Best Picture. Sorry, can't comment post to some destinations, it's saying there for some weird reason. Make sure we're still going. Are we still going? Yes. We're still going on. Yes, we're still going on Rumble. Are we still going on Twitch? Yes, we are. Yeah. Fine. Oh, weird. Right, okay. Oppenheimer is expected to sweep the Oscars with likely wins in major categories, including Best Picture. If its Irish star Cillian Murphy wins 2, it will be the first time since 2012 that the same film has won both Best Actor and Best Picture. The last was The Artist and its star Jean Dujardin. Yeah, it was all right with The Artist. Yeah, it wasn't amazing. As with a lot of, Oscar-winning films, you watch them, you think, what were all the hoo-ha about? But anyway. It's a different story in Best Actress, which recently has been matching up with Best Picture more often. 2 of the last 3 Best Picture winners, Nomadland and Everything Everywhere All at Once, which I've still not got around to watching, because I don't like Short Round. He gets on my nerves, but I'm sure he's lovely. Also won Best Actress for their stars Frances McDormand and Michelle Yeoh, respectively. 5. There are 4 Oscar-nominated couples this year. Best Director nominee Justin Triet, I don't know, is also recognised in the original screenplay category alongside her husband Arthur Harari. Isn't that the capital of Zimbabwe? I know, it ends with an E. The pair are jointly nominated for writing Anatomy of a Fall, one of 5 nominations the film has. I bet it's shit. At the Golden Globes, Triet explained the pair had written the film stuck in our apartment during the pandemic, and strangely, she joked, they didn't kill each other as a result. Where are we? We're off over there now. Oh, it's Christopher Nolan, look. Meanwhile, Christopher Nolan and Emma Thomas are both nominated as producers on Oppenheimer as part of the film's Best Picture nod. Emma, there we go. Right, where are we going now? Oh, there she is. There's Margot, the lovely Margot. Elsewhere, Barbie's Greta Gerwig and Noah Baumbach are jointly nominated for the film's screenplay, while Margot Robbie and Tom Ackerley are nominated as producers in Best Picture. Right, number 6. Bradley Cooper is the 5th most nominated living person never to have won an Oscar. The actor who shot to fame after appearing in The Hangover has been nominated. I've never seen any of the Hangover films. Has been nominated 12 times thanks to his work acting, directing and writing a variety of films. And looks like there he is on the Graham Norton show by the look of it. But he has never won any of the prizes he has been nominated for. Do you mean he has never won any of the prizes for which he has been nominated? Again. Ending it with the preposition. The only people to have scored more nominations without a win are sound engineer Greg P. Russell, 16 nominations, composer Thomas Newman, 15, songwriter Diane Warren, It's Been a Long Road, 15, and special effects supervisor Daniel Sudik, 13. Cooper is unlikely to break his streak this year, as his film Maestro isn't predicted to win in the categories he's nominated: Best Actor, Best Picture and Best Original Screenplay. Now, that makes him feel good. Anyway. Number 7. One nominee previously directed music videos for Jamiroquai. Auschwitz drama The Zone of Interest has 5 nominations at the Oscars, including one for its British director Jonathan Glazer. That name I've seen. That name sounds familiar. Glazer has had a long and varied career. 3 decades ago, he was directing adverts for Stella Artois and Guinness. So he's a booze hound, is he? He was also behind music videos for songs by Radiohead, Massive Attack, Blur, and perhaps most notably, Jamiroquai. The band's video for Virtual Insanity memorably saw singer JK trying to avoid being hit by furniture in a room with moving floors. We hope Glazer wears a giant JK-style hat to the Oscars in tribute. Yeah, it's a good video, is that one. Jonathan Glazer, that name rings a bell. Where? Not for, that one. Something else. I have to look him up, because it tasks me. Unless I'm thinking of Paul Michael Glazer. Under the Skin. Yes, so that could be that one I'm thinking of. That's a good film. He's Under the Skin with Scarlett Johansson. Let's have a look. What else has he done? Under the Skin. That's it, really. Yeah. So it must be that I'm thinking of. Yeah, good film is Under the Skin. Really good film. The Glazers' own Manu. It could be that as well, yeah. Could be that. Or it could be thinking of Paul Michael Glazer, Starsky and Hutch. Used to love Starsky and Hutch as a kid. Right, so that's that one. Number 8. 2 nominees have set a record for gay actors. For the first time ever, 2 openly gay actors are nominated for playing openly gay characters. There's an award for that, is there? They are Rustin's Coleman Domingo, who portrays civil rights activist Bayard Rustin, and Naiad's Jodie Foster, who plays... Jodie Foster's gay, is she? When did that happen? Who plays swimmer Diana Naiad's friend and coach Bonnie Stoll. The only other time an openly gay actor has been nominated was Syria McKellen for Gods and Monsters in 1988, which was also for playing an openly gay character. Yes, he played... I forgot his name now. The Frankenstein director. Him. I forgot his bloody name now. Played him. But I didn't know Jodie Foster were gay. See, she kept that quiet, didn't she? But not from whoever wrote this article. And there's Marty Scorsese. Number 9. Excuse me. Marty Scorsese is the oldest ever nominee for Best Director. Marty was nominated for his 10th Oscar this year, setting a new record for a living director, overtaking Steven Spielberg. See, this is the stuff we want to hear about, isn't it? If you include dead directors, Ben-Hur's William Wyler holds the record with 12. At 81, Scorsese is also the oldest ever nominee in the category. The previous record holder was John Huston, who was nominated in 1985 for Pritz's Honour when he was 79, which starred, I think, his daughter, didn't it, Angelica Houston? And did it have Jack Nicholson in that as well? Can't remember. The oldest, not seen it, the oldest winner is Clint Eastwood, who was 74 when he won for $1 Million Baby, starring Hilary Swank and Clint Eastwood. This year's oldest nominee overall, however, is composer John Williams, recognised in the original score category for Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny at the grand age of 92. The only good thing about Dial of Destiny is probably its music. Number 10. The average Best Picture nominated film this year is 138 minutes long. Past Lives and The Zone of Interest are just 1 hour, 44 minutes each. But Oppenheimer, from director Christopher Nolan, pictured left, is 3 hours, and Scorsese's Killers of the Flower Moon is a ridiculous 206 minutes, which is 3 hours and 26 minutes. A film that could probably do with an interval, right, should bring back intermissions, bring back overtures and bring back intermissions. For long films, not in the middle of a 90-minute film, an hour and a half, but in long films, bring back intermissions. David Soul destroyed 3 clutches on Top Gear. May he rest in peace. Doing the star in a reasonably priced car. Not according to Paramount and Apple TV Plus, who cracked down on several cinemas who attempted to insert a break in the middle of the film so audiences could go to the bathroom. Yes, they should. Either do that or start handing out the, what they call them, sheath urinals, or me-wees, or whatever they call them. Anyway. Number 11, Lily Gladstone is the first ever Native American to be nominated for Best Actress. Oh, is she Native American, is she? Because she's got earrings in. With a name like Lily Gladstone, shouldn't she be called Moon Flower Face or something like that? The 37-year-old isn't the first Indigenous performer to be nominated for Best Actress. Whale Riders Keisha Castle-Hughes and Roma's Yalitza Aparicio preceded her, but The Killers of the Flower Moon Star is the first from the US. The actress comes from a Blackfeet. Blackfeet? Shouldn't it just be Blackfoot? Whatever. Indian reservation in northern Montana. She has already won prizes at the Film Actors Guild Awards and Golden Globes, and in both acceptance speeches, she briefly spoke. I thought it was Blackfoot. I thought it was the name of a band. I don't know. Her native Algonquin language. Very good. Number 12, there are 10 first-time nominees in this year's acting categories. Emily Blunt, pictured, there. Danielle Brooks, Sterling K. Brown and Coleman Domingo all received their first Academy Award nominations this year. That's Danielle Brooks. America Ferrera, Lily Gladstone and Cillian Murphy are also up for an Oscar for the first time. America Ferrera gets pictured twice. Look, they put a box round her there and a photo over there. Other first-time acting nominees are Sandra Huller, pictured, Jeffrey Wright, who's not pictured, and Devine. Is it Devine or Devine? Don't know. Joy Randolph. Right, number 13. American Fiction has already broken a record. The nominations for Jeffrey Wright, that's Jeffrey Wright, isn't it? And Sterling K. Brown mark the first time 2 black actors have been nominated in the lead and supporting categories for the same film. American Fiction tells the story of a frustrated black author who jokingly writes a book which plays up to racial stereotypes and tropes, only to find publishers falling over themselves to release it. Number 14. May December's single nomination for Best Original Screenplay keeps an Academy trend alive. A whopping 20 of the last 22 Oscar ceremonies have all seen at least one film nominated for screenplay but nothing else. This year, May December is nominated for its script, written by Sammy Birch, pictured. There she is. But the film missed every other category. The Julianne Moore movie joins previous nominees Knives Out, Borat, My Big Fat Greek Wedding, Molly's Game and Straight Outta Compton in pinning all its Oscar hopes solely on its screenplay. Are we nearly done? Number 15. Robert Downey Jr., looking very pensive there, is almost certainly going to win an Oscar thanks to Christopher Nolan, which makes a change from 2008 and Downey Jr.'s previous Best Supporting Actor nomination for Tropic Thunder, which he should have won. And also, Tom Cruise should have won for that as well, even though he probably wasn't nominated, but he should have done. That year, he lost to Heath Ledger's Joker in The Dark Knight, only because Heath Ledger died, didn't he? I'm sorry, but that's the only reason Heath Ledger won that Oscar, isn't it? Really, I'm only telling the truth. Directed by Christopher Nolan. This year, Downey Jr. is almost certainly going to win thanks to his performance in Oppenheimer, a film coincidentally also directed by Christopher Nolan. Probably thinking, do I have to die to win this? And who the hell's this here? I just see a leg. And I don't want to know. It zoomed out before I got a chance to see. Number 16. Speaking of people dying, one composer died before his Oscar nomination was announced. Canadian musician Robbie Robertson, also known as a member of the rock group The Band, composed the soundtrack to Killers of the Flower Moon. Is that a wig? Anyway, he's passed away, so never mind. Robertson, the director, Marty Scorsese. Yes, you want to know, I've got these scars. He told a different story every time, didn't he? Robertson and director Marty Scorsese collaborated on several films over decades, but the composer sadly died last August before Killers had ever been released. The musician also worked on music for films including Raging Bull, The King of Comedy, that were remade as The Joker, The Colour of Money, Casino, Gangs of New York, The Wolf of Wall Street, and The Irishman. He's posthumously nominated for the Best Original Score, and Scorsese dedicated Killers of the Flower Moon to Robertson's memory. He'll probably win it then. Bet he does. Number 17, back to Christopher Nolan. There will be no Oppenheimer without Twilight. Christopher Nolan decided to make the film about J. Robert Oppenheimer after working on Tenet with Twilight star Robert Pattinson. The actor gave Nolan a collection of Oppenheimer's speeches as a gift when they finished filming. How bizarre. And when Nolan read them, he was inspired to make the film. Edward Cullen, we owe you. And then I think that's it, isn't it? So there we go. Oh, the 96th Academy Awards will be handed out at a ceremony in Los Angeles on 10th of March. And there's more articles about that. So there we go. We'll leave it there. So I'll not go all the way back up. So we'll leave it there. Yes, why so serious? Still didn't mean he deserved an Oscar for a few good lines. He was good in it, but, you know, he only won it because he died. Right, we'll leave it there. We're done. We're done now. Right, so what's coming up next? What day are we on? Wednesday. Friday is Friday night appointment with Fear Night. This week we're doing The Faculty, which is a cool film. It's fun. It's fun, isn't it? It's fun and fine, as Tony from Hack the Movies might say. And then on Monday, what are we doing on Monday? Oh, yes, we're doing that, aren't we? On next week's Magnificent Mondays, we're doing Space 1999, Alien Attack. Yay. That's what we're doing next Monday, I think. I think that's what's next Monday. Is that Monday? No, it is next Monday, isn't it? Yeah. So there we go. A Knight's Tale. Yeah, that was quite fun. What a Knight's Tale. Right, so we'll leave it there. So thanks Sci-Fi Quest, thanks Castellar Daniel Garcia and Windgrace and Josh Temple, no Joshua Kanapke tonight, and Adam Green as well. Thanks for popping in and keeping me company while I read some news. I've got a sore throat now, all this talking. Anyway, I think we've all got to pile over now to Sci-Fi Quest channel, because I think he's doing Spaceballs. I think he's having a watch party for Spaceballs. I'm not sure where I've got that. What is it on? I don't know. We'll find out when we go over to Sci-Fi Quest channel. So we'll leave it there. We will leave it there. So, thanks for watching. And wherever you are, hang on, I'll just check and make sure there's no messages. No, there are no messages on the other streaming, whatever they're called, platforms. So we'll leave it there. So, thanks for watching, wherever you are. Look after each other, and until next time, I'll say there.